Hi, I'm Wayne Tuttle, and welcome to Chasing Legends. Welcome back. I'm Wayne Tuttle, Chasing Legends here. Hey, last episode, we showed you the new Dutch Hunter, or the new Legend of the Superstition Mountain shirts. This week, I'm sporting the Dutch Hunter Rendezvous. Coming up October 23rd, 24th, 5th. We will be out there if we have to social distance. Bring your own food this year. But we will try to do it as much as we can, keep that thing and everything going. So please pick up one of the shirts at represent.com. Thank you again for getting us over 100,000 views. Hopefully at this point, we're going to see ourselves shortly well over 100,000 views for the first 2 episodes and moving everything further. So thank you to all of you for picking up t-shirts, because those have been flying off the shelves. Thank you so much for doing all this. We don't make a dime off out of this. You notice there's no commercials. We're not making anything off the shirts. It's just saying thank you as much as we can to the fans and stuff and who want to look cool. Right now we got the black sporty looking out to dinner dress shirts. We will be presenting something in a lighter scheme and color with some black lettering for maybe out in the sun during the summertime. All right, so getting into this week, we're gonna get ourselves back in the Superstition Mountains. We visited the San Carlos Hotel and we had a nice trip, and it was a little funny and uneventful. Maybe someday I'll put that footage out there. Right now we're gonna take ourselves back to Bluff Springs Mountain. This is probably sometime, I don't know when it was. Had to be sometime late 90s, early 2000s. And at the time I was scouting deer. So I went out and was spending a day or so, and I was out towards the Bluff Springs area. I worked the LaBarge and Needle Canyon sides, and I was getting up on Bluff Springs, and I'd found a couple areas that it looked like there were some bucks. An individual solo buck had been working this one ridge. And he was going out, and I was able to kind of tell he'd go out and stand on these certain spots. And they kind of cliffed out, but he would stand out there and spend some time there and work his way back. And I was watching the area, kind of looking for rubs, looking for anything as a good hunter would do, and scouting my area. While I was up there, I brought a copy of Sims Ely's Lost Dutchman Mine, and I think I might have had a copy of Barry Storm's Thunder God Gold in my pack, and I was just kind of enjoying it as just really nice weather out, kind of enjoy, see what I saw, pick up some signs for the area, and kind of see where these deer were working themselves through it all. Didn't really see any game. Got to a certain point, I'm working my way across the Bluff Springs because I was zigzagging and kind of checking different things and some locations that I'd seen some sign before. And I get to one point, it's kind of a nice open area, and I sat down, there was a rock. And it wasn't a real sunny day, I think it was an overcast day, so I just kind of sat in the rock. Decided to have myself a cigarette. So I sat down, I lit a cigarette, I'm smoking. And I look over, and I kind of like, what's that? Because the ground just kind of like, you get in a lot of these areas, everything looks kind of the same on the ground. There's a breakup of different types of mineralizations, but you're looking and something will stick out of place. And I saw a number of pieces of rock like this. And it's got quartz worked through it. It's heavy, it's very, you can tell there's a lot of iron content in this. And you can tell it's been broke out of something. It looks like something's been picked out of here, hand cobbed or something, but you can tell someone had worked on it. Chunks have been broken out, and then chunks have been broken out of it. And I kind of looked at it and thought, this is really cool. It's like, and there's a little bit, very, little, but there's a little trace of some gold content in it. But I was kind of like, this is neat. And I looked around, and this is one of the bigger pieces, but there was a number of these pieces laying around. And then there was a couple of very small ones that you could see if you took them up, you could look and see that there was a little bit of gold content still in them. And I thought at the time, well, it'd be kind of cool to pick these up and crush them and see what's in them. And then I decided, you know, I'm just gonna shelve them and do this. I spent a lot of time in the area. The thing that got me curious is I never saw anything out there that resembled a prospect or a mine. The nearest area would have been, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of yards away before you would kind of slope. I mean, you were in a relatively nice open area. So I kind of gridded the area out later, went back, kind of hit the grids, found nothing, no trace, no more pieces of this stuff. And they were like, The best thing I could come up with is like you had a pack saddle or a backpack or something, you dumped some stuff out, some stuff dumped out accidentally, and it kind of dumped, hit the ground, and I even kind of tried that, dropped some rocks similar size, see how they spread, and it was kind of similar, so I figured something must have dropped out, spread, and hit the ground. And I took it to a number of people, but the odd thing is, as much time as I spent up there, I never found anything correlating of what this was. Now, it was kind of more on the last third of the mountain, kind of going towards the Ely Anderson Trail, which is well known for being some type of possible pack animal trail up onto the top of Bluff Springs. I know Walter Gassler had a mine up in that area called the Cross in that section, but I don't believe it had anything to do with that. And the mineralization, like I said, and it is just definitely, you can see the iron and quartz content. Now, it doesn't look like anything I've really dug out of up there, because it just seems to be the kind of stuff you'd be looking for in the area. You'd want all that content and that type of mineralization. Sorry, no hematite in this, but very, very interesting up in there. I know Randy Wright and I spent a little time through there kind of covering the ground and finding no other signs and traces. What I found odd was sometime later, someone else posted a picture, and I saw the picture, and it was on a green background. Some guy from Seattle owned the piece of ore. And I kind of looked at it, and it was kind of very similar to this. And I kind of thought it was kind of crazy, because I was like, I remember I found it in Greg Davis's, one of his folders files, and I was looking at it, and I was going, man, you know, that looks like something very similar to what I picked up that day, those pieces. So I flipped it over, saw the name, whatever, and then on the back it had written, Herman Petrash found this at the base of the Ely Anderson Trail by Bluff Springs. And then it kind of hit me, it's like, okay, that actually coincides with what I was thinking, that someone was bringing this down, and that maybe some pieces, maybe back in the day, they were watering the mules' burrows and some other pieces fell out. And Herman Petrash, at some time in the 1930s or 40s, had found this piece down there during that time period. So I know Woody and Frank would love to crush these up. There's about 4 pieces remaining. I crushed 2 of them up, found gold. There was a slight gold content in them, but whatever the chunkier stuff that was working its way through here has been removed. I've never found another piece up on Bluff Springs, but it's one of those finds. I really don't want to do anything to the rock itself. I've shown it to people, and you can tell it was hand-hewn, worked out of the rock, and it was, you know, someone got in and kind of poked whatever was kind of working through here, and you can take your imagination of whatever was worked in through here and so forth and was broke out of it. But it's a very interesting piece. Thought I would share that story. I've showed it around to people a number of times, and you know, even getting it analyzed or anything else, the fact is we don't know the source material for it. Probably most likely somewhere on Bluff Springs Mountain. Unknown source, who knows how many years, tens of years, 50 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. These pieces could have just sat there, out there on the open desert flooring and all. And for all of just stop and have a cigarette on a nice, cool, overcast day, kind of came across this and kind of led us into kind of spending a year or two in that area looking over, making a lot of other discoveries that maybe someday we'll talk about more, but this very cool piece here. So out there by myself one year. So that's it for this week for Chasing Legends. Again, hit subscribe, throw out a comment, hit the bell for notifications, keep on coming in. We're going to continue on through and keep pushing this stuff up, and eventually we will be coming back to you with another season of episodes of Legend of Superstition Mountains. But until then, take care, be good, and thanks for watching Chasing Legends.